Hi there. Language is quite a tricky thing, isn't it? Verbal questions, at least to the untrained eye, might seem quite subjective, right? However, with math questions, it's not the same. They are fairly clear cut. We start by understanding the question, then we apply a set of formulas, and then we arrive at the right answer choice. Whereas with English questions, we first start trying to understand the passage. Since we are not sure about the formula, we do the next best thing. And what is that? Guess the right answer. However, our guesses don't help since we will then face tricky or close answer choices. Nobody wants to be in this tricky situation during examination, right? So in this video, I'll be telling you how to remove that sense of subjectivity by teaching you to solve verbal questions in a manner that is similar to solving math questions. It's a tweaked version of the same three-step process which we follow while solving math questions. Except here, we'll categorize the questions, formulate the answer, and eliminate the traps. For the first step, I will teach you how to categorize any question that you might see on RC. After that, we formulate the answer choice. This formulation will depend on the category of the question. Here, I don't want you to guess. Okay guys, to be fair, we might have to guess under a few circumstances. But for every category or type of question, I'm going to give you an algorithm or a working methodology that will help you to answer it. The guesses that you make will also not be blind guesses, but they will be educated guesses based on certain rules. The third and final step would be to eliminate the traps. This is basically the do's and don'ts. Now, before we dive into an in-depth analysis of this trio, let me introduce Sai Kiran, who will tell you a few things you need to be mindful of.
Thank you, Santosh. Hi there. First things first, make sure you have a pen and paper ready. You will need to take down some notes as you will be using these rules often. Second, answer this question. Do you think you will get points for understanding the passage? Well, sadly, that's a no. You only get points when you answer the questions based on the passage correctly. So, the measure of your success entirely depends on the number of answers you get right. It doesn't matter how you get them right. Here's a disclaimer though. You won't get 100% of your answers right with these rules. But I assure you that you can get around 80% of the questions right. However, most importantly, it will tell you the 20% that you can't answer. Thirdly, the rules are simple, but if you want to perfect them, you will need to practice these rules or at least 50 to 75 passages for them to be ingrained in your mind. Well, actually 50 should be enough, but I put a higher number because, hey, who is it going to hurt? Every RC task might have around 3 questions. So you will be looking at around 150 to 225 questions. Now you must be thinking, why should I take all this trouble? Well, it's because I've seen how this plays out. In the first 15 to 25 passages, you will struggle to apply the rules as you'll be tempted to use your instincts and pick the right answer choice. I can understand going with your gut for an easy passage, but my sincere advice is to avoid your instincts and use the rules as much as you can. Your first 15 passages will be a tough fight between instincts and rules, so you need to overcome your instincts in the first set. The next 15 to 20 passages are when you actually start internalizing the rules. Because now you will start getting most of your answers right and you'll start believing in them more strongly. Finally, the more you practice, the more comfortable you'll be with solving RC questions using these rules. These rules are simple to understand and will reward you 10 times over. Let's use an analogy to understand this a bit better. In trading, there are 2 types. Instinct-based trading, where you trade based on your gut, or rule-based trading, where you have a set of rules that you need to follow closely to reap good results. It's said that rule-based trading gives higher returns than the former. The same goes for your exams. You're always safer with a strategy, even if you're someone who has a good grasp over the English language. So, pay attention. You'll still need to use the rules at some point because it will be useful when you're stuck between 2 answer choices. I'll be giving you ways to verify your answer. So you can use these rules to help you narrow it down to the right answer choice. And if you're not comfortable with English, please make sure to use the rules. Don't waste the few months of your time you have by reading and solving questions on your own. It's always safer with a good strategy. Now, before we head to the next video, let's take a look at our vocabulary word. It's ingrained. It means beliefs, attitudes, or habits that are so firmly held that they are not likely to change. To make it easier to remember, think of it as a grain in the soil. Now, let's take a look at its synonyms. Deeply rooted, entrenched, and deep-seated. That movie is ingrained in my head forever, and the school's strict morning routine was ingrained into my day-to-day life. Are two ways in which we can use our vocabulary word in a sentence. Now let's head to the next video.